Hey guys, and welcome to our next installment of the weekly market talk, chat, discussion, and our schedules are so busy right now that we are driving.
Trying something new.
We're going to give this a shot and see if this works. We're returning from Palm Springs.
Keep your eyes on the road.
Eyes are on the road.
Yes, please. Thank you.
The sunglasses, you can't even tell. So we're returning from Palm Springs. We have an awesome video coming out about a Spanish-style single-story home that overlooked the mountains. It was amazing.
Rad.
Oh my gosh.
Those views were so cool.
You know, I really hadn't been to Palm Springs. We ate lunch down in Palm Springs at a restaurant called El Patio.
Oh, it was so cute.
So good.
I'm
so full.
Would highly recommend El Patio. It feels like you're on the patio of a house. It was pretty cool.
Guys, lots to talk about.
Lots
of real estate
Woo!
news, I feel like.
This road. Oh
Lots of dips in the road.
I see the windmills.
Okay.
We're doing the Palm Springs drive,
Tell
guys.
me.
What's up this week?
Okay, so we need to talk about the fact that the credit reporting agencies are going to adjust how they record medical debt and how that impacts your credit score, because I have had a lot of times in my career, more times than not, the FICO that is low is due to medical debt. And it could be $1 or
Have you ever had that
$500.
happen?
Yes, I've had a $14.
Me too.
$14.
Like $15, and I was like, "What the heck?" I never even knew I owed
Had a
that.
bill, yeah. Well, it's so complicated. Like I had surgery last year, and the number of bills that you get, or like when I had babies, it's like the anesthesiologist sends a bill, and the hospital sends a bill, and the obstetrician sends a bill. Like there's so many bills that it's easy for like one to get lost, and you not even know that it ever
So
came
true.
through. So it's interesting, right? But like lenders use those credit reports to determine your credit worthiness for a mortgage. So this obviously links to real estate.
So what's there's a new threshold where they're not even going to report it. Is it under $50?
Let me see if I can.
So,
I don't know.
There's a new threshold as to which they're not even going to report. And there's also new guidelines on how long it takes them to report. And so they're going to extend.
Under 500, it says. So roughly 1 in 5 U.S. households carry debt related to healthcare. That's a crazy stat.
I totally agree with that. I don't agree with it, but I see that happening, yeah.
Yeah, so it says paid medical debt will be dropped from consumer credit reports. So if you've paid it, it's not going to be on your credit report anymore.
Okay, that's
And the
great.
time period before unpaid medical debts and collections will appear on your credit report is going to increase from 6 months to a year. And anything under $500 is going to be dropped.
And that's the thing, because I have had people with 2-digit numbers, so like $60, $50, I don't remember the exact numbers, but numbers that were so low that they went to collections for, and now they can't buy a house, or they don't qualify for a
Or
rent.
sometimes the difference is even like your score is 639 to 640, and if you have 640, you can qualify for FHA or other financing. You know.
Yep.
Sometimes it's that small that makes.
Or
a
your rate
difference.
would have been better because you're getting that hit for
Exactly.
being under. So gosh, guys, if you've been in that position where you haven't been buying because you have medical debt, this is a game changer for you. We're ready to help.
Absolutely.
All right, what else is happening?
Okay, so we got to talk about fire hardening, right? What is fire hardening? That's a California thing.
Disclosures, all these disclosures that California has us do, not a bad thing. Better to know what the heck you're getting yourself into when you're buying a house, right? But Danielle, talk about it.
Well, this is just a new disclosure that we have to do that says that there has to be a perimeter. Well, first we have to determine if a home is in a high fire zone, which you can, at least what website did you look on earlier?
It was like the fire, oh my goodness, you're catching me off guard. It's a
sorry.
government fire website we have the link to, and we actually can pull up whenever we go into escrow. So don't
Absolutely.
worry about it. We got you covered.
Or the natural hazard report will state if it's in a high fire zone, and if it is, you have to have an area of fire hardening, like
Clearance.
Clearance. Thank you very much.
Beyond your property line.
Yes.
Yes.
And if it's an HOA, if it's someone else's land, we have to get that all taken care of. Now, a buyer can assume the responsibility. So the seller doesn't have to do it.
So this is a negotiable term.
It is a negotiable term.
Oh,
The buyer
okay.
can assume responsibility.
Okay.
But it's very interesting that this has to be taken care of now, because we've seen so many insurance companies drop
Yep.
policies here in California because
Yep.
of high fire.
I mean,
zones.
just a half mile from my house, like you're up at against the base of the Cleveland National Forest, and it burns a lot. And the fire, the insurance up there is so much higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for some people, they actually don't know that in some areas, you actually cannot get normal insurance. You have to go to what's called special lines, like Lloyd's of London, where you can, in a normal situation, maybe for a normal house, you're looking at $1,000 a month. Special lines can go several $1,000s a month. So
if they'll even insure you.
Yeah, right. So that's hundreds of dollars per month increase over what it would normally be. So that's something to really think about.
Well,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
a preventative.
I think it was Christine in our office who said she had an escrow recently. It was like $20,000 worth of work for the clearance
To the
around.
clearance.
Isn't
Wow.
that wild? Like,
You got to stay on that. I mean, let alone to sell your house. You should just stay on that.
It's something that you need to know, and it's something your agent needs to know, because this is California law when you sell your house. This is a mandatory disclosure.
Fire hardening.
all right, well, last week I saw the Wall Street Journal says, we've been talking about this a little bit, but the era of ultra low mortgage rates is over.
This era. This era. How many times in my career have I seen it in the twos? Twice. Will we see it again? Maybe. But this
Does
era.
that mean that you wait?
No.
So we talked last week. We knew the Fed was going to increase the rate when we were talking last week, but it was like an hour after we had our conversation. They did it.
0.25%.
And
And
we're
they're gonna do it
expecting
multiple times.
6 more times
There
this
you
year.
go.
So rates are over 4% now, guys, and they're not going back for a while.
Math
That's
that.
not,
0.25%
you know
times
what?
6.
Rates were over 4% when I bought my house 10 years ago. 10
Oh my
years
gosh,
ago
mine was
last week.
7. I just
Okay.
had to pull my mortgage note. Mine was 7.
But now your house is worth
Oh,
so much
totally.
more. So
I'm just saying.
time in the market is greater than time in the market.
Right.
We've said
so
that.
no, don't wait, because you know what? Like different mortgage servicers, like Greg stays with it for the life of the loan, and you know what? You get in at 4% now, and if things do go,
You
go
refinance.
down. You can refinance. They can recast the loan. There's lots of good things that they can do to get you the low rate. So no, you don't wait. That's
Silliness.
silliness.
As I tell my kids.
Do your due diligence, that how it affects your purchasing power, though. Be aware that it does make a difference in your payment and purchasing power. So be more comfortable with that, and where you're comfortable with your payment.
Okay, guys, this is my favorite story last week. Owning a house was more profitable than having a job last year.
How? How?
Yes, no, okay, so in just the U.S. overall, the median salary is $50,000.
Okay.
And the surge in value was $52,667 average
Wow.
nationwide over 2020.
Wow.
And
Plus 2020.
Yes, and that's nationwide. So in San Diego, so local-ish, a typical home in San Diego gained $160,000 in value last year, guys, where the median worker made just $55,000.
Wow.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I love that story.
I mean,
Homeownership.
even
love that.
if you made 100,000, you're still way over.
Way over.
That is crazy.
Well, and we kind of talked about this last week, the increases we've seen in value. I had one come up just this week. I have buyers 2 years ago in Long Beach bought a home for $710,000, or refinancing right now, and because they're doing cash out refi to do some work on the house, $1 million appraisal, 2 years. Love it.
That
Makes me
is
so happy for my
crazy.
buyers. So happy.
Crazy.
So good.
For sure. And I was, I lost my train of thought.
Oh, don't lose your train of thought. It's
Happens.
probably
It's the
the
old age. It
It's the
happens.
food in my
It's
belly.
the food, you guys. We had this like bucket of meat and shrimp and chicken in this sauce with tortillas, and I'm driving with my knee.
Okay.
Oh my God! Put your Jesus Christ. All right.
Get out of my lane, truck.
Let's not die.
A couple other things I want to talk about. CNBC reports came out with the numbers that were released on Friday. 28% annually, the cost to buy a home has gone up. Your monthly mortgage payment.
Wait.
28%.
Year over year, because rates have gone up, so the cost to buy a home.
So obviously, if you're in a mortgage and it's fixed, then your cost has not gone up. But
And then other numbers in that same report that came out, the supply of homes for sale is 15.5% less than it was last year. We've been talking about the supply problem.
Yes.
And therefore, existing home sales are down 2.4% from a year ago because
There's no
supply is
homes
squeezed.
to buy.
Yep.
There's no
Boy.
homes to buy.
we still have the inventory problem. We don't have a bubble because we don't have the inventory to burst a bubble.
Oh, you know what? We were talking it before the office meeting last week. We've had the office meeting, so now we know about some of these bridge loan, sell or buy before you sell programs. Those were interesting to hear about. I think that'll be a way out of this supply problem.
Mm-hmm.
If you
We
need to sell your house in order to buy, and you don't want to become a buyer in this market or become homeless, like we
There are
have
options.
We've got great lenders who have good options. So if you didn't know if that was an option for you, it might be. Give us a call, because let's talk about that more specifically for your situation.
Yep.
And homeownership continues to be a great investment, a way to build your wealth and family legacy. All good news.
It's going up. Unlike the stock market, which is on a wild ride right now.
Scary.
Kind of like you're driving.
I'm driving straight.
On that note, why don't we end this so you can focus on the road ahead?
We're doing good. All
We'll
right.
be back next week. Thank you for joining us.
See you guys later.
Comment below, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. Okay, bye.
Bye.